The Druid is a savage shapeshifter, fluidly transforming between a powerful bear or a vicious werewolf, all while commanding the power of earth, wind, and storm, unleashing nature's wrath to a devastating effect. This is one complicated yet potent class that we don't fully understand quite yet. Now, a quick disclaimer, so the Druid has not been fully revealed and fleshed out, and with that, we don't know as much detail as we do with the Barbarian or the Sorcerer. So we'll cover everything that we know, but please understand that things may vary slightly between this video and the first time we get our hands on it in the general public beta. Up until this point, we were not sure what the Druid class mechanics were. We had some guesses, but this is the first confirmation that we've gotten. Now, this class mechanic will not be available during the open beta, even though the Druid will be playable by then. So this class mechanic allows you to form bonds with spirit animals. So at level 15, you're going to unlock the ability to interact with 4 different spirit animals. These spirit animals will be able to receive boons that Druids can acquire by defeating mobs and other activities. Now, these boons will unlock player bonuses that the Druid can then choose to receive by forming a bond with that spirit animal. Now, at first, Druids will only be able to bond with one spirit animal at a time and only receive that single animal's buffs. And you'll be able to swap these out whenever you want. Now, once Druids have unlocked all 4 spirit animals in Skosglen, you'll get 2 significant advantages. One, Druids can then bond with a 5th spirit animal for completely different buffs, or Druids can simultaneously receive 2 bonuses from one spirit animal of their choice, and 1 bonus from all 4 remaining spirit animals. Now, what this shouts to me is the specific phrase they used, all 4 spirit animals in Skosglen. This makes me think that there will be different spirit animals depending on the zone that you're in, that'll all provide different buffs. So, like I said, this will not be available during the open beta, but it's good to have confirmation as to at least what one of the class mechanics for the Druid will be. The other one we know about is that all earth skills have a chance to cause crushing blows, which is another extremely powerful bonus that the Druid will have. So let's move on and talk about that a little bit. So while not confirmed, we have heard that the Druid will have an active perk that'll cause all earth skills to have a chance to deal crushing blows, which reduces a target's life by a flat percentage based off of total health. So if we go take a look at Diablo 2, for instance, crushing blows will reduce the amount of an enemy's health by 25% for normal enemies and 12.5% for bosses, champions, and uniques. Now, if this is the case, then the Druid is going to be an amazing party member for helping chunk off portions of boss health bars. Hopefully that's the case, but we will just have to wait and see on that one. But I do want to talk about shapeshifting because this is a big thing for Druids, and things are a little different between this Druid and previous Druids that we've known. So shapeshifting in Diablo 4 isn't a permanent action or something that's under direct control. Instead, you will shapeshift depending on the skill that's used. So for instance, if you use the skill Maul, you're going to shift into a bear, use the skill, remain in that form for a few seconds, and then you're going to return to your human form. The same goes for any skills that shift you into a werewolf. So please understand that as we go through these skills. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's talk about what skills the Druid has and that we know about so far. So in terms of our categories, we have basic skills, spirit skills, defensive skills, wrath skills, companion skills, and ultimate skills. We don't know anything about the ultimate passives quite yet, but we can go through what we do know. So to get things started, let's talk about our basic skills, starting with Earth Spike. Earth Spike is going to sunder the earth and impale an enemy, dealing a small amount of damage. And then each time you hit that enemy with Earth Spike, your chance to deal a crushing blow to that target is increased. Next, we have Shred, which is going to cause you to shapeshift into a werewolf and shred an enemy. Now, this does have a chance to strike twice. Storm Strike is going to imbue your weapon with electricity and strike at your target. It's going to deal damage to that target and then chain lightning to up to 3 nearby targets. Maul will shapeshift into a bear and then maul an enemy, damaging them and fortifying yourself. Fortify will reduce your damage taken for a short period. And then our last basic skill is Wind Shear. Here you're going to conjure a blade of wind that deals damage and increases your movement speed. So that wraps up our basic skills. Let's talk about spirit skills. In terms of spirit skills, we have Pulverize, which is going to cause you to shapeshift into a bear, slam the ground, and deal large amounts of AoE damage. We then have Landslide, which will crush enemies with pillars of earth and has a chance to deal a crushing blow. Lastly, we have Tornado. You're going to conjure a vortex that moves outwards and curves in random directions. It'll deal damage each second that it comes in contact with an enemy. Next, we have our defensive skills. Here we have Cyclone Armor, an absolute classic for druids. This is a toggled skill. So once you toggle it on, powerful winds will protect you and grant reduced range damage. Now, if you do take melee damage from a melee enemy, then there's a chance the attacker is knocked back. Earthen Bulwark will surround you with rocks for 3 seconds. This will make you unstoppable and absorb damage. Once this bulwark has expired, the rocks will shatter and deal damage to nearby enemies. Next is Trample. So you're going to rush forward as a bear. So you rush forward, you shapeshift into a bear, and you deal damage to enemies and stun them. Debilitating Roar, again, you're going to shift into a bear, and you're going to roar and reduce the attack speed of nearby enemies. Lastly, we have Ravenous Bite. Here, you're going to shapeshift into a werewolf, and you're going to tear an enemy's flesh. You're going to deal damage and heal you, which is great for sustain. So love that they actually have a heal built in here. Next up, we have our Wrath skills. First is Hurricane. So you're going to form a hurricane around the druid, and you're going to deal damage to nearby enemies. This was a skill I absolutely loved in Diablo 2, Diablo 2 Resurrected. I really liked it in the Grim Dawn Diablo mod. It was just a great skill to take advantage of, and big hurricane fan. Next up, we have Boulder. So Boulder, you're going to hurl a large rolling boulder that knocks back and damages enemies, and it has a chance to deal a crushing blow. Then we have our companion skills. So for our companions, we have Wolves. You're going to summon 2 wolves to fight beside you. If you press the skill again, you'll direct the wolves to focus attacks on an enemy. This will increase their critical strike chance against that specific target. Ravens will cause ravens to fly above you and periodically attack enemies. And then when you press the skill again, the target area is then swarmed with ravens, damaging enemies and applying vulnerability to them. Lastly is Vine Creeper. So Vine Creeper is going to periodically emerge from the ground and poison enemies. If you press the skill again, you'll command the vines to strangle enemies in a target area, which will poison them and stun them. So last up, we have our ultimate skills. We have Cataclysm, where you'll summon a massive storm that'll follow you for a short duration. Tornadoes will knock back enemies, and lightning will deal large amounts of damage. Next, we have Grizzly Rage, which will cause us to shift into a bear for a short duration. We'll gain new bear skills and increase our spirit regeneration, which is a resource the druid uses to cast skills. Lastly, we have Petrify. Here you're going to stun all nearby enemies. Damage will break this effect. However, if you break it this way, it'll cause extra damage to the enemies themselves. Now, this skill does have a very large chance to deal a crushing blow. So overall, the Druid is a class that brings a lot of versatility to the table, be it shapeshifting, unleashing the elements, or even commanding pets to creatively solve problems. This class seems to have something for everyone. So what do you guys think? Is this the class for you? Let me know in the comments section below, and if you like Diablo content, please like and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been Vulkan, and I'll talk to you guys next time.